now by Dan Graziano. ESPN.
The Danster!
The Danster.
Danster. Have you ever heard
I don't know
that
if you like
in your entire life?
You shouldn't like
Danster?
that in you.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
You don't like the Danster, man?
That's fine. I mean, whatever you want. I mean, I'm good.
No,
I mean, I gotta give you
I've been
a
called
cool
worse.
nickname.
I just don't think it's. I don't think
No,
it's that
that's
great.
not acceptable.
I think,
What's
I think you know
happening,
what it is, Key. I think you could do better.
I could do better.
There we go.
That's what it is.
What do you want me to call you? You want me to call you Danny Boy?
Yeah.
Danny Boy. That sounds like a good name. What's
He
up,
gets
Danny
even
Boy?
more condescending. That's how
Danny
it works.
Boy?
You can do better. I'll get way more condescending.
Danny
Graz
Boy's
is a
not
good nickname.
condescending?
Graz
People
is
like
good.
Danny
wish
Boy.
I had a name as good, last name like Graziano. It just sounds good.
Danny
you
Boy
think
is
he's a
like
good one?
Because you're a
Danny
boxing
Boy.
guy, that's why you like
Danny,
that name. Yeah.
You know what Danny Boy is? Danny Boy, and Max can speak to this. Danny Boy is like the white dude in the hood that hangs around all the brothers, and it's Danny Boy. Danny Boy coming to play hoops with us. I know Dan's uncomfortable right now.
cannot.
So
I cannot play basketball.
Yeah, like white boy. Think about it. White
I'm a
boy Rick,
try-hard.
white boy Dan. Come on,
Right.
man, stop.
I'm a try-hard basketball guy. That's just what I got.
So, but
Hustle
you
face.
do pay attention to hustle face.
I'm not-
But
I'm not sneaking up on anybody.
you do pay attention to football.
Yeah,
And
sometimes. Yeah.
we are entering now the conference championship round.
we are.
Yes,
Yeah.
we are. What are you paying most attention to in Niners Eagles?
Niners, Eagles. Well, Hurts, I think, is still the focal point because he is playing injured. There's no question about it. They're able to, and they've answered every single question about how they're going to get around that and how they're going to handle it. Like last week, obviously, they looked fantastic. Tougher test. No offense to the Giants fans out there. They had a great year. Tougher test this week, obviously, for Hurts and the Eagles. So, like, do they have to ask more of him? And if so, does that affect their chances, right? Because they got up. If they can get up early, if they can hit some deep shots early against the Niners defense, which is a little susceptible to that, and then all of a sudden the Eagles can start running the ball, then I think they're in real good shape. So I'd like to see, what Hurts can do, how long he can hold up in this game, and whether he is asked to hold up a little longer than he was last week.
Now, you mentioned, Dan, that if they can get up early, the Eagles have a high-flying attack, right? They score fast,
Yeah.
and they get up on teams. Now, on the other side, the other quarterback, okay, we haven't seen Brock Purdy come from behind in double-digit fashion. 2 score, yes. 9, yes. But we haven't seen 10, 12, 13,
Right.
14, and so on, him be able to do that. What's your expectations for him if, in fact, the Eagles get out to a 17-3 lead or 14-0 lead or something along those lines?
I think that's the 49ers' nightmare scenario because you have a defense on the other side that's piled up, 70 sacks, right? So if you're in a position in the game where the Eagles know you have to throw, then they have you where they want you. And then if you're Brock Purdy, look, again, another guy who's answered every question so far. And if he can get into that situation and deliver, then it's just one more feather in his cap in terms of he's the starter going forward for San Francisco, et cetera. But, yeah, if he can't, then it'll be like, oh, see, it finally caught up with them. Look, both these teams want to do kind of the same thing. They would both love to run it down your throat. The Eagles obviously showed that last week. The 49ers show it every week. Yeah, either team gets up 14-0 in this game, it's going to be a significant advantage for them. I'm not sure either one of these teams is really built to come back as much as it's built to sort of bully you.
The 2 best defenses in the league?
Yeah.
So it's interesting, Dan, if you say, Brock Purdy obviously being down, but if you think about when the Eagles, when they played against the Giants, they had 44 carries for 268 yards on the ground, right?
Yeah.
Like dominated with running the ball. 49ers have number 1 rush defense there is in the league.
That's true.
Right? So if it comes down to if they can't run the ball, this is a shootout between Brock Purdy and Jalen Hurts.
Eagles' run game is a little more sort of dynamic and multiple than a lot of people's run games, right? Because, it incorporates the quarterback, and they have different backs that they run with. So it's not – there's a stat about no running back has reached 70 yards in a game against the Niners this year. Like
they don't have to.
If you're the Eagles, you don't necessarily have – you're not necessarily, like, riding that one guy. So – a lot of it, Hurts is a huge part. It's obvious to say Hurts is a huge part of it. But if he can run the ball effectively the way he has been for prior to his injury, then that's to their advantage for sure.
Let's move on to the matchup in the AFC, which the storylines here, it's ridiculous.
Yes.
Somehow, the guy who by far has the greatest first 5 seasons in the history of the game can be supplanted in the number 1 spot if this other guy beats him and goes on to win the Super Bowl. It seems to me this is an enormous event, Dan, in the history of the NFL in terms of the way we are going to perceive things.
Burrow's like a disruptor, right? Like everything was going. Like we thought, oh, the Bills are positioned to overtake the Chiefs. They've built it the right way, all this kind of stuff. All of a sudden, Burrow shows up, and if he wins Sunday, you'll have to say the Bengals passed them both, right? Bills and the Chiefs. So, look, Mahomes is Mahomes, and he's about to be the MVP for the second time. He's won the Super Bowl. He's still got plenty on Burrow. What he doesn't have on Burrow is he hasn't beaten him head-to-head, and there's no question that bothers him and it bothers the Chiefs. So they'll be motivated. We don't know how healthy Mahomes will be. And also the Bengals are a bad matchup for the Chiefs. So if Burrow wins it again, then yes, this is the conversation. And then if he wins again, if he wins 2 weeks later, then all of a sudden you're like, well, does this guy, has he surpassed Mahomes as the face of the NFL? Like, that's the conversation he's put himself in right now. And
it's giant stakes, Dan. These are giant stakes.
It really is. I mean, you're talking about how we view the league. Like, the people and the prism we view the league through will be affected in a significant way by the result of this game.
But also history, guys. Like, our entire perception of this era of the NFL, this game will play an outsized role in the way we look back at the era. It's crazy.
I mean, imagine this. Like the Cincinnati Bengals, who had not won a playoff game in 31 years, they show up, and in back-to-back seasons, they beat the Chiefs, Mahomes and the Chiefs, in the AFC Championship game in Kansas City. Like, that is history-making stuff. Again, hasn't happened yet. Like, I think a lot of people, like the the Bengals are favored now.
No, now it's pick them again because Mahomes looked good on the ankle
yesterday, right? So, but I mean, the Chiefs are not to be overlooked just because they've lost 3 straight to this team.
Hey, let me give you a double whammy real quick here, Dan, because I know this is your PI stages of the sport for us. What's going to happen with Mike McCarthy and Sean Payton? Now we got some rumblings going on with a staff in Dallas, and Sean Payton is out there twirling in the wind.
So, yeah, the Cowboys let go of, 4 coaches yesterday? None of them were the head coach or either coordinator. So some tinkering on the staff. I think that's what this will be limited to ultimately. Look, I mean, could Jerry Jones and the Brain Trust get together this week and decide to move on from Mike McCarthy? Of course they could, right? Things do change. But all indications have been that they don't plan to do that. If they did, I still don't think, Key, that Sean Payton is the guy there. I don't think that's
neither do I.
I don't think that's the kind of coach Jerry wants to have. I think he wants a coach like McCarthy that he can kind of keep in the background a little bit while he's the front man, right, for the organization. Jason Garrett was very good at that.
How's that been working out for him?
Well, Garrett, he was there for 10 years.
Jerry.
Oh, well, I mean, it's an extremely profitable enterprise that he's running. Like, I would say that it's worked out from that standpoint very well. Look.
What do you think would be better for his ego, though? What's happening, or winning a Super Bowl?
Yeah, I mean,
the other way.
He won 3. Like, I don't, like, to me, I think people have Jerry all wrong. I think Jerry's is fine. Like, I'm sure he would like to win another Super Bowl, but I don't think
just keep
the notion
money.
that he'll go to his grave somehow unsatisfied if he doesn't, I just don't think that holds up.
Dan Graziano, ladies and gentlemen, ESPN NFL Insider. He will appear on the hit show This Just In, 2 p.m. Eastern, ESPN. Handsome host. So tune into that later on today. Thanks, Dan.
Dan. All right, Danny-O.
All right, Dan.
Micah
Keep
Parsons
working on it.
denies throwing shade at Dak Prescott on Twitter. You believe him? Keyshawn, J. Will and Max.